To Israel's border with Syria, where Turkish and Russian forces are currently touring in the southern Syrian countryside. That's according to Saudi Arabia and Syrian media reports, which would mean Turkish military officials are right up near the border with Israel for the first time since the fall of Assad's regime. With me in studio to discuss more are I-24 News senior Middle East correspondent Ariel Oseran. Ariel, what do we know about these reports? Because the Russian Defense Ministry, those troops are confirmed to be there, but the Turkish officials or Turkish troops, no true official word on that front. And that's the concerning aspect.
Yeah, it would make sense because if there were Turkish elements, military officials there, then the Syrians would try to downplay that as to not aggravate tensions with Israel. Ultimately, Quneitra is just a stone throw away from the border with Israel. And we're not talking about yet an entrenchment of Turkish forces in the area, but we are talking about presence. This isn't necessarily the first time that they visited the area. This is the first time that we know that they've visited the site. Now, as you mentioned, there is no official confirmation to this. In fact, the official statements omits any mention of a Turkish delegation visiting in this tour. But let's look at what's going on in Damascus right now. Yesterday, there was a Russian military delegation met with its Syrian counterparts. There was also a Turkish military delegation, and they met with their counterparts. Today, the Russian delegation is touring. Very likely, that the Turkish delegation was also in participation. And so ultimately, this is, I think, a signal to Israel. It should be seen as a signal. Ultimately, Israel is engaged in negotiations with the Syrian government over a defense agreement. What will the defense agreement talk about? Turkish presence in southern Syria, in the border area. Israel's vying for that area to be demilitarized, but will that also include the presence of Turkish forces? So many questions are being raised right now. If we're looking at, yes, we're saying that there's no official confirmation to this, but shortly after the statement by the Syrian Defense Ministry saying that it was only the Russians, Turkish President Erdogan gave a speech talking about how Ankara is following closely the developments in Syria, the current situation there, and that they vowed to provide the new Syrian government with everything it needs in order to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity. So the presence of Turkish military officials in this delegation would indicate that they are monitoring closely, I'd say very closely, the situation on the ground.
All right, very interesting and something that we certainly have to continue to monitor. And I know you will always monitor what's happening right there in Syria. I-24 News senior Middle East correspondent Ariel Oseran, thank you for those updates.
Thanks, Nicole.